See that angel up top, a fire, or what looks is supposed to be like an angel of fire. Now that's not him. He comes out down here. He's gonna appear down here. Watch this. At this point, from what I could see about his demeanor and how he actually changed, he was in full-blown demonic possession. Watch this. Hold on. Let me show you. You see this? You see this?
Next, the burning dove is a fallen angel. So the burning dove could be a symbol of Jesus on fire as a testament to the Satanist power to destroy Jesus. The burning dove could also be a fallen angel. Therefore, regardless of how you look at it, this is a satanic symbol. Some people say that the burning dove is a symbol for a fallen angel or a symbol of Jesus on fire. It's totally not a phoenix representing rebirth from something that has died. For instance, Astroworld show, bringing back the fun memories of the theme park that is literally the whole theme of this event. Bringing back the idea of Astroworld to Houston for Houstonians who grew up with Astroworld. But I hear you, a phoenix is a satanic symbol.
This guy used a fiery phoenix, which means Satan.
I mean, I visited the city in July as a child. Believe me, I know how hotter than hell really is.
111 degrees? Phoenix can't really be that hot, can it? Oh my God, it's like standing on the sun!
This city should not exist. It is a monument to man's arrogance.
What a coincidence that Travis Scott dropped a song titled Escape Plan the night before the Astroworld Festival tragedy. Or was it a coincidence?
Isn't it suspicious that the very first song Travis Scott played when he came out was called Escape Plan? And wasn't it also suspicious that he dropped the video for that song the day of the show? I mean, come on, how much more obvious could it be that he's trying to give us signals?
I was left a very interesting comment by you guys, so I always say leave a comment, so I might read it, girl. Keep it classy in the comments down below. The fact that the Astroworld failed to have proper escape plan, and innocent people were trapped with no way out, innocent lives were tragically lost, he was very aware and made his choice to continue staring and singing. I truly believe that this was meticulously planned as a blood sacrifice. The release of his inappropriate, insensitively named song is so coincidence. They are making a mockery of their supporters and do not care about the tragedy they caused.
Some people believe that Travis Scott started his set with the song Escape Plan as an ironic joke or a statement that this was clearly a sacrifice.
And the name of the song is Escape Plan. Come on, girl. I know y'all say I'm Rich Lux, reaching for the tea. You gotta give me this. You got, literally, am I alone on this island over here? You gotta, if I'm wrong, let me know I'm wrong. I don't want this to be an echo chamber of, yes, queen, yes. No. If I'm wrong, let me know I'm wrong in the house.
Clearly, they haven't tried to pour over the lyrics of the song, as his escape plan is a 12-figure estate plan. Kind of sounds more like he's channeling the spirit of Napoleon Hill rather than Satan. I mean, it's clearly about the dreams of money and how along the way things fall apart, but not to bother investigating why they fall apart because other doors open. Pretty standard fare for rap music.
I listened to the lyrics, right? The whole song is about how he wants money, he wants fame, and how he started from nothing. He's going to keep going until he gets all this money and fame, whatever. It's like, there's like solo shots of him dancing around a mansion with security guards and Rottweilers or something. And I'm just like, where were they at Travis Scott concert?
It's sort of satanic in the whole way that everything that isn't church is satanic kind of way.
Wake up, Judah. We cannot be asleep watching this stuff go down on our watch.
But to me, that looks like a demon in the house. Oh, that's demon in the house. Get that demon stuff away from me, girl. You demon, that's demon in the house. Girl, to me, that's demon in the house. And my studio audience agrees, don't y'all?
Though I guess in this case, maybe it's, Satan never closes a door without opening a window for his demons to escape.
When Satan closes a door, somewhere he opens a window.
Don't you open up that window. Don't you fucking do it. Don't you line up that. Hold on. Don't you do that shit, my nigga.
Hail Satan!
Kept the gallery open till 10.
The only line from the song Escape Plan that's even remotely related to this is, I filmed, directed, Helter Skelter. Off the seltzer like it's juice. But really only because of the idea that this may be a Charles Manson reference. Otherwise, again, sounds more like he's channeling the spirit of Napoleon Hill, or if you want to keep the conspiracy theory line going, J.P. Morgan or a Rockefeller.
People call it conspiracy theories, but I call it connections. People will say it's a conspiracy theory, but it's just so funny how a conspiracy theory can line up in so many different ways. Coincidence, huh? But check me out. These are just more connections related to this entire topic.
Did you know that in the video for Escape Plan, Travis Scott is wearing a Pearl Jam shirt? Just like there were 8 victims at the Astroworld tragedy. 8 people died during that Pearl Jam tour. This is clearly predictive programming.
Music video that he's wearing a Pearl Jam t-shirt, but something that stood out to me was the subtleness of the shirt. Like, it looks like he's trying to hide it. I slowed it down here so you could see the t-shirt.
Now, this shit right here is something that I would have never even put connection to. But let's watch.
But I did some research on Pearl Jam, and I came across the Roskilde tragedy. There was 50K fans waiting to see Pearl Jam. There was also 50K fans waiting to see Travis Scott. 8 people died at the Roskilde tragedy, and 8 people died at the Astroworld Festival. The Roskilde tragedy happened in the year 2000. This is where things start to get real crazy, though. Check out Pearl Jam's artwork on their merch from their 2000 tour.
8.
But this shit is crazy to me. Because the number 8 plays such a big role in all of this, and I'm not really sure how.
With the what? With the I in the middle, bro. You have to understand that the singular I, everybody was saying, what do the eyes in the middle of the hand mean? The singular I is representative of the all-seeing eye, okay? When artists goes like this, when artists go like this, when artists do those things, when artists makes these gestures and leave the all-seeing eye available, that right there is symbolic. One eye in the middle of an 8 is symbolic. It's all symbolism. It's all symbolism.
So in almost every way, this isn't even relevant because 1, it's not the shirt Travis Scott is even wearing in the video. 2, the shirt he's wearing is from before the tragedy, and it's the most popular Pearl Jam shirt there is. 3, 10 people died overall. Granted, 8 of them at the show, but there's 10 deaths. 4, maybe there is a Pearl Jam conspiracy, but they actually diligently try really hard to get the crowd to back up. It's extremely sad, and discussed later.
Look at the eyeball in the center, okay? And then, boom, eyeball right there. Wait for it to zoom out.
That's a soul-snatching eyeball in the middle of the fucking concert. I don't care what anybody says. That is a soul snatch. This is basically a harvest of souls right here, bro. I'm gonna keep going back on my spiritual shit because this is where I live. I live in that realm. You get what I'm saying? That is a harvesting of souls. That's what's my nigga. You know how much energy is being controlled right here, my nigga? Energy? That shit is demonic, my nigga. Nigga got the eye. Like I told you, that's like a portal to hell already. I already gave you that whole demonic breakdown. But this is literally an entire soul harvesting sensor, 50,000. The stage was looking like an inverted cross, facing down to, like, come on, man. Like, there's too many things. Too many connections. Y'all say it's conspiracy. Too many connections. Y'all want to say it's conspiracy. Too many connections. Bro, the connections between... I could go on for days about this shit, bro. I could literally go on for days. Because everything intertwines. People are ignorant to this shit. Let me not say ignorant, but people aren't mindful. People aren't willing to open their eyes to this shit. It's right in front of us.
Damn, that's 8 flames coming off the stage right there. Dang.
Candles.
Mind you, his set only looked like this while he was performing his new song, Escape Plan.
8 flames, 8 bodies.
All this ties in.
8 flames, 8 bodies. Crazy.
So yes, in a couple of scenes, it just shows one shirt that he's wearing that is from Pearl Jam. Now, if you don't know, Pearl Jam did a concert in Denmark where a variety of factors led to a stampede and a crowd surge. 8 people died at that show, and then 1 more died in the hospital a few days later. This was in many parts due to the venue getting rained on all day and creating a giant field of mud. People tripped and fell and were crushed. It was a stampede.
On the count of 3, 3 steps back, please. 1, 2, 3. 1, take a step back. 2, take a step back. 3, please.
As the American band Pearl Jam were performing, the huge crowd at the Roskilde Open Air Summer Festival surged forward, crushing people against the stage. Witnesses say the band repeatedly appealed to the crowd to move back, but some fans had already collapsed, and others began tumbling over them in the wet and muddy conditions. This man says there was an atmosphere of violence, and the pressure was so great it was impossible to help anyone. Those at the front had nowhere to go and were crushed by the sheer weight of fans. 8 people were killed, 26 were injured, some seriously. The size of the audience had caused concern ahead of the festival. Many fans said it was obvious there was going to be a problem.
The connection here is super loose, and there are other Illuminati themes in the video one could set their sights on. So I'm not convinced, and I'm also confused like why they fixated on that. Also, there are 16 flames at the concert. I'm not sure why everyone is so obsessed with the number 8 here, because there's 10 victims too, but more on all that later. So now, taking the idea and the video was a metaphor for what was happening here in predictive programming, you can clearly see that this is a sacrifice. I mean, this one is totally clear evidence. Come on, y'all. But really, other than the irony in the phrase escape plan, this song is pretty irrelevant to the tragedy. And had you suffered through the concert several dozen times like I did watching hundreds of hours of footage to make this video, you would have noticed that there are some other really ironic song lyrics.
And one thing we know at a show, there is no bystanders at a motherfucking show. Chase B.
For instance, in the second song, Highest in the Room, Travis Scott sings, "Hope I make it out of here." And he also says, "She saw my eyes. She know I'm gone." Isn't that creepy? And in song number 4, Stargazing, he says, "It ain't no mosh pit if it ain't no injuries." Next, in the song Carousel, he says, "All my demons invadin'," clearly allowing demons to come forward.
I got this.
In song 11, Lost Forever, they sing, "Lost. Have you ever been lost forever? And how wonderful, wonderful." And
To go up a level of disrespect. I'm just one angel away from blocking out the devil.
I'm just one angel away from blocking out the devil.
Just one mountain away from me and all my too much power.
Just one mountain away from meeting all my rebels. See, he's calling demons and inviting them in.
Everybody follow my lead. Yeah. Pay close attention. Get low. Yeah. Get low. Get low tonight. Get low. Just a little bit low. Get low. Just a little bit low. Get low. Just a little bit low. Get low. Fuck shit up.
Next, in song 20, Knife Talk, I'm Mr. Body Catcher, Slaughter, Gang Soul Catcher, Spooky. Spoiler alert. This dude dies.
I hit up tell him do the for sure. Voodoo curse.
Tell him, do the for sure, voodoo curse. See? Magic ritual. And of course, the most problematic one was song number 22, In Too Deep with Drake.
Go crazy.
Where they kept singing, I'm in too deep. In too deep. Oh, predictive programming. Sicko mode. Had me out like a light. I mean, come on, could they be more obvious? And of course, Drake made a bunch of statements that in hindsight are super ironic.
I want you to take this shit in. I want you to take this shit in. Okay. This is your city. Okay. If I know one thing, from the front to the back, we better make this motherfucker earthquake. Yeah. Chase B, what the fuck is we doing? Oh my God. Hold on, wait. Shout out to Mike D, my motherfucking brother. Shout out Head, what's up, Head? Shout out to OG Chase B, my brothers. Look, I want to tell you something. This shit doesn't happen every day. You gotta be one of the most influential, incredible, best dressed, best musicians with one of the brightest minds and the biggest fan base to pull some shit like this off. So once again, make some motherfucking noise for my brother Travis Scott. This shit does not happen every day. I don't give a fuck what niggas talking about.
And it's kind of weird to think that if either Travis or Drake knew what was going on, that they would have done that. But of course, Drake partied all weekend before posting a text statement. And as much as I try, I really don't feel bad for a guy who can afford to spend $1 million at a strip club immediately after something like this.
On Saturday, November 6th, Drake went to a private party at a strip club. Multiple since-deleted posts shared by Houston's Area 29 strip club show the floor of the club completely covered with dollar bills. And in one of these posts, the club thanked Champagne Poppy.
Did you notice? The stage is an inverted cross, which is satanic.
Anyone else notice that the stage is an inverted cross leading to a portal into hell?
The platform in front of the portal one can clearly see is a cross of Christianity being sucked into the portal that leads us to believe it is going to hell.
Everybody that's heard of Christianity knows that Jesus was crucified, and Christians believe that that saves your soul. It is believed that some Satanists do black mass and other rituals like reading the Lord's Prayer backwards and wearing inverted crosses.
When it comes to selling yourself to the devil, it always has to be done through a ritual. The ritual can simply be you committing yourself to him. You saying that you're going to worship the devil as your God. The same way people go to church is the same way that these Satanists, these devil worshippers go home and read their own little saying Bible, bro. They have prayers, but instead of dedicating it to God, the Almighty, they dedicate it to Satan himself.
And in some ways, this is true. Some Satanists do this. Though on that token, it should also be noted that most Satanists are atheist social justice warriors who do rituals as a bit of symbolic theater.
That man is not a creature to be redeemed, but one who must recognize within himself his own potential, his own liabilities, and deal with them accordingly. Man can no longer fall back on established religion as a sort of identity, a collective identity. And occultism is a sort of do-it-yourself God kit, in whatever form it takes, oriented towards personal power.
Kanye West brings out Marilyn Manson. During the event, it even appears that Marilyn Manson joined Ye in prayer, bowing his head, even reaching out and putting his hand on Kanye's shoulder during a prayer.
With little belief in magic. At least that's what they want you to think.
This you have to see to believe. A cemetery in Mississippi, members of a satanic cult performing a ritual over the grave of Westboro founder Fred Phelps' mother, two guys kissing over the headstone, hoping to turn Phelps' dead mother gay. They say the so-called pink mass ritual is in retaliation for Westboro's attempt to protest at the funerals of the Boston bombing victims.
So you can see, because this is an upside-down cross, this is clearly satanic. I mean, clearly this is the will of the devil himself, god of music.
Lucifer is the angel of music. He is in control of that whole realm.
While the inverted cross is thought of as a satanic symbol, it was also known for centuries as a Christian symbol, because it's known as the Petrine cross, or the cross of St. Peter. Peter had great admiration for Jesus, and so he didn't want to be crucified in the same manner as Christ. So he asked to be crucified upside down. So while some Satanists do use an upside-down cross, it's a rather ironic statement, as it's really more of a deferral to the power of Christ than a downsizing of it. I mean, Peter certainly wasn't a Satanist, and he meant it as part of his faith. Also, perspective matters. Whose perspective is more right? From the audience, the cross is upside down. But from the stage, the cross is right side up. Does this mean Travis is comparing himself to Jesus? This, however, may be more sacrilegious than the upside-down cross, but whose perspective really matters here? And just because something is the backwards version or upside down or really similar to, it doesn't necessarily mean something else. I mean, I could take the Jesus fish and flip it upside down and say that it represents the Leviathan, the great sea monster, and the power of the magical submarine to escape it. Also, on a literal level, this is the most obvious design shape for a stage that juts out into the audience and is practically impossible not to look like a cross. Plus, it has been done in many other live shows. Are you saying that every single person that does this is a Satanist?
He's got a little bit that sticks out, and his stage goes round like this. So if he had a bigger stage, then that would probably go back, so he's got a walkway, and then it can go up and down the crowd and then go forward. So unfortunately, that is the shape it comes out.
Fair enough.
But that is
fair enough. That is fair enough.
So right before all hell broke loose, literally, this portal opens. Ironically, it looks just like this portal to hell here in another religious painting.
But the real symbolism can be seen on stage. The spiraling portal with non-human entities and flames emerging from it.
So the first thing that people were saying was that the circle of the stage almost looked like a portal to hell.
The stage was built to represent a portal, as even the animations throughout the show confirmed.
Did you notice that the stage is a giant CERN portal? Portals open doorways for demons. Everyone knows this. Demons walk freely through portals.
So I then wondered, did Travis Scott even make any money off this event? Or was it a satanic ritual to bring bodies and souls to the other side? Because in the concert, it said, "I'll see you on the other side," and it was a portal.
With it at one stage even saying, "See you on the other side."
I'd love to hear some sort of explanation and just know exactly what Travis means by this "see you on the other side" imagery.
The stage is a CERN portal. Just look at it.
The mountains are depicting the like what is happening over in Switzerland, the CERN program. Absolutely.
So at the beginning of his set, Travis Scott came out in the likeness of a flaming angel or a bird. I don't really know what that is, possibly. Either way, still sus because that's a CERN portal. I know what I'm looking at. This is a CERN portal. And this is what we saw at the concert. I also see Travis Scott getting away with this scot-free. No repercussions. Mainly because he told y'all he was gonna do it. And this reality is based off of contracts and agreements. Whether or not you consciously or are aware of agreeing to something, when someone tells you they're gonna do something and then they do it, they've already balanced out their karmic pressure. To add context, this is what I'm talking about. See what that says? And on top of that, that's an angel. That's a throne. It's a thrown angel. Why the fuck? Why? Why is it? Why? That's weird. And my prayers go out to the families that lost their loved ones to a sacrifice. And if you have a problem with people saying that those victims were sacrificed, you're part of the reason why humanity is fucked up. You need to understand this shit so it can stop happening.
If you don't know, the people at CERN are running a satanic demon machine that pulls demons from other worlds through portals that they're creating. It's all part of the Stargate, which is similar to the meaning of Astroworld, meaning Star World. Coincidence? I think not.
These Satanists and these people practicing witchcraft with this whole CERN, they are busy. They are busy. We need to not be off of our post today. We need to be on our post. This is the time that you need to be praying and warring in the spirit for this nation, for people, for there are going to be people perishing. This pit, this CERN that is being opened is unleashing principalities and demons. We need to pray. God bless us all.
Astroworld. To me, coming out of witchcraft, it sounds like astral projection.
And this is exactly the same thing. Just look at this opening of the Gothard Tunnel. Both the one with the naked female angel flying around, and the outside one with weird bush people in it. Okay, getting serious here though. While bizarre, this is just performance art. People get all hyped up in the whole Illuminati loves rituals idea, but they clearly have little to no understanding of rituals or how any of this stuff works.
Portal with non-human entities and flames emerging from it. The same ritual we've seen at the Gothard Base tunnel opening ceremony in 2016, where a portal was opened and demonic entities were unleashed. The same ritual made famous by Aleister Crowley, the birth of the Antichrist, the Amalantra working, the cross being fed into the portal of hell. In other words, the death and destruction of humanity as we know it.
Leave me alone! Please! Leave me alone! Please!
I'm going to out myself a bit here so you can all denounce me now, but I'm well trained in hypnosis and a member of a Thelema offshoot religion. So say what you will about me out of ignorance, but I know because I've actually studied this stuff. Imagine you needed heart surgery.
Are you looking for a way to slash the cost of your medical expenses?
Would you go to a surgeon who just knows how to do surgery?
I know I'm supposed to cut something, but what? And where?
No, because they don't know what they're talking about and your life is at stake. So why do conspiracy theorists hold up arguments to authority that agree with them and not authorities that disagree with them? Take David Icke, for example. He constantly talks about how you can't listen to authorities, including him. Everything he has to say is pointless. Check out Dr. Grande on this.
Icke would have us distrust authority, but trust him. So in a sense, he's become an authority among conspiracy theorists. So does that mean that he can't be trusted anymore? Right? There's just a logical problem with how he approaches this. The question he fails to answer is, what is the basis for trust? What makes anybody trustworthy? What we typically find with conspiracy theorists is that no evidence is sufficient to change their minds, right? So no matter what's introduced, nothing will cause a modification of belief.
Now, I bring this up because throughout this video, every single point I'm discussing is ultimately proof to some people that this was a ritual, but there is no real evidence of that. Next, it's not difficult to find the materials of secret societies and actually read their sacred documents. It's really easy. Just like it's incredibly easy to find almost every occult book that's ever been written in a PDF online. It's also not difficult to find people saying stuff they didn't discover from primary sources, but from rehashing secondary information, and it makes me mad.
An old 3-inch scar here on my wrist where my friends used to cut my arm open and bleed my blood into a cup and drink it mixed with wine and urine 4 times a year as a ceremony to Satan. That's when they divulge the actual truth to you, you know, which they have you in darkness all those years. Secret Go is a rough child. They're the highest of the high. They're the satanic children of Satan. They actually sit on the table and they have a special chair for Satan right there. And he comes and talks to these family members, and they're the ones that, the shaking and bakers, I call it.
One night, after a heated argument with her mom, a 17-year-old Victoria heard a familiar voice.
You just give your life to the devil, and everything will be okay. And I was just like, okay.
The next thing Victoria knew, she had her hands around her mother's neck.
Almost choked my mom to death that night. Couldn't tell you why I stopped choking my mom. I just know I did.
Especially when they get on their high horse about how you need to do research, because if you did, you'd agree with them.
I can't sit here and accept the people who are saying, oh, it's just a concert. My nigga, 8 people died in that concert. You're not understanding that. It's not just a concert, my nigga. Bro, it's a fucking ritual, my nigga. A sacrifice, bro. I said that in my last video, too. It's a sacrifice, my guy. Y'all don't pay attention. Not 8 people are not gonna die. 8 people, 8 flames, that many Masonic and demonic imagery on the flyers. It's just not, that shit is not all coincidental, bro. That shit is really not coincidental. It's really not. You can't tell me that it is. I'm not gonna believe you. My third eye won't let, my higher conscious won't let my body believe you. It won't let my brain believe you, because I know more. I know better than that. I know more than this third dimensional shit, bruh.
Wake up, Judah. We cannot be asleep watching this stuff go down on our watch.
But girl, let people tell it online. They'll say, "Oh, that's a sweater. Somebody threw a sweater. Somebody threw a water bottle. That's water. Oh, that's a smoke from the smoke machine that's reflecting off the moon and bouncing back off the fog of the lake or something. You know, swamp gas." It's like, let them say, "Girl, that's a demon in the house. That night it was demon energy all around that."
People call it conspiracy theories, but I call it connections. People will say it's a conspiracy theory, but it's just so funny how a conspiracy theory can line up in so many different ways.
Side note, the online film The Fall of the Cabal is the worst offender I have ever seen in this regard. Nearly every claim can be disproven with 10 minutes of Google searching. But of course, that's because, Google only shows you the stuff they want you to see. Why can't people see how this is an unfalsifiable position? No evidence could ever disprove the idea that they control all of the info that you see.
Conspiracy theorists are bad scientists. That these individuals are not interested in falsification, but instead selectively seek evidence to confirm their beliefs. Again, this is the confirmation bias. So they indiscriminately accept any argument that points to the conspiracy. So this really forms kind of a self-sealing quality. They're resistant, if not invulnerable, to contrary evidence. And actually, the contrary evidence can make the belief in the CT stronger. The evidence against the conspiracy theory is often ultimately seen by its adherents as evidence in favor of the conspiracy. So ultimately, they defeat really any attempt at testing. And this is referred to as a paradox of evidence that renders conspiracy theories as unfalsifiable. So nothing can change their minds.
This is especially annoying to me with Aleister Crowley, as much of his work is public domain, and the rest is really easy to find. Liber 729, for instance, actually only holds a hint about the lamb ritual. It actually is just a series of discussions between someone and Crowley about symbolism in their dreams and ritual workings. It has absolutely nothing to do with portals, and the word portal doesn't even appear in it. And neither does a discussion of lamb. It's actually mostly about the metaphor of eggs in dreams and discussions. If you really want to talk about working with lamb, Kenneth Grant, one of Crowley's students, wrote a document called the Lamb Statement, which was an OTO internal document. Grant was Crowley's chosen successor in the eyes of many, and says Crowley told him about the egg in the Ala Mantra working and how it related to lamb. And Kenneth Grant, not Crowley, wrote in this document that lamb could be the gateway to those who lie beyond, which means that lamb might be able to help one to learn more about an occult-related topic, particularly gaining knowledge from previously unknown sources or interacting with a new pantheon of entities. But just in case you're really curious, here's the supposed portal opening ritual from the Lamb statement. I imagine you're probably not a regular reader of occult texts, but this is a ritual one can do rather easily. The ritual is super straightforward. It suggests a series of safeguards in the overly complicated text here, but overall you could do it with what's given here if you know how to enter the right states. And you could figure out how to do those other rituals it mentions just by Googling them. But basically all you do is silently meditate on the picture of Lamb while focusing on his eyes and chanting Lamb in your mind. Then when you feel contact is made, you enter the egg, his head, by imagining yourself floating through his eyes. Then you look around the world as Lamb and close your eyes and await a vision. When it's done, you open your eyes and imagine yourself oozing out of an egg, reborn. And to a Christian, this probably does look like demon worship. But I don't know what to tell you other than no portal is actually opened and no one talks to Satan here. But if you really wanted to stretch it to make this point, then you could say that going into the egg is opening a portal. But then basically the whole of Western occultism will look like opening portals to you. Likewise with Satan. This is completely irrelevant to Satan and demons, unless you inherently believe that anything other than God is demonic. In fact, if you want to see the kind of portals that people open in order to talk to demons, there are lots of good books on the topic, one of which is the Goetia. Check out this convoluted ritual.
Before every magical operation, whether of invocation or evocation, we open our circle and call down the archangelic guardians of the quarters with a Golden Dawn style invoking ritual of the Lesser Pentagram. And, at the conclusion of the ceremony, we will employ the banishing version of the same rite to close and seal the gateway between the worlds.
Ata, Malkuth, Vegabura, Vegaduda, Deolam, Om. Amasha O. Before me, Raphael. Behind me, Gabriel. At my right hand, Michael. At my left hand, Oriel. Ata, Malkuth, Vegabura, Vegadula, Leolam, Om.
We call thee, great Archangel Raphael, in the name of Tetragrammaton, Amashao, a glimpse of thy glory, Raphael, Raphael, Raphael. As the soft chanting continues, each person around the circle will invoke in his or her turn until the altar top is haloed with an electric blue aura of astral energy, shot through with golden rays of light. Then you know you are on holy ground, and the angel may speak through any one of you. You may not see Raphael in the crystal, but you will certainly sense his presence. You will feel his power, and his voice will speak within you. Until you have made such a connection and established such a bond with all four of the archangels, you must not venture further into the darker realms of Solomon's magic.
This ritual, and pretty much every ritual you will find online or in real life, is significantly different from the Gothard opening ceremony, which is a postmodern artwork. And yes, it's weird. And all of that is vastly different from, and irrelevant to, the work of the CERN Super Collider.
What is CERN? Well, CERN basically is the European Council for Nuclear Research, and it is the largest physics research facility in the world.
And what is its aim? Well, the humble question, what is the universe made up of? Its charter was to build state-of-the-art particle accelerators to better understand the nature of matter and the structure of the universe, to perform world-class research in particle physics, and to provide a place where scientists from all over Europe can collaborate. Critically, its charter also mandates that it remain unpolitical, that its work would be for peaceful purposes only, and that all its results would be made available to the public. That is, complete transparency.
Over the years, CERN has built several of what were the biggest particle accelerators of their time. Now, those earlier accelerators help speed up the protons and put them on the way into the LHC. Protons start off by traveling down a linear tube where electromagnetic fields give them a constant push forward. From there, they enter into a series of loops, with each loop giving a bit more speed to them before they're injected into the 26-kilometer-long ring of the LHC. The 26-kilometer-long tube is packed with magnets. Some of these magnets help keep the protons moving straight as they head down the tube. Others help impart a bit of a curve so that they go around the circular path of the LHC. The tube carries two sets of protons, which run around the ring in opposite directions. They cross paths at several points to create collisions.
But yet some people think that in the CERN Super Collider, they're opening these portals to bring in demons, and the whole thing is about demon worship. But in their defense, CERN scientist Dejan Stojevic says to create a black hole or a wormhole, even a microscopic one, with our current technology, in the context of our standard theories of gravity, we would need an accelerator as big as the whole universe. So there is no chance whatsoever to create such a portal at the Large Hadron Collider. But hey, that guy's name is Dejan, which looks sort of like Jinn. So clearly he's an Illuminati plant, telling us what we want to hear straight from the demon Jinn's mouth itself. But after all that, it's still easy to believe that the stage opening is opening the door to demons. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and continue your Beneath the Floorboard binge. YouTube thinks you'll also love this one, so keep watching.